Nigerians, Ghanaians, and friends of Nigerians in Ghana joined Nigeria to celebrate the Independence Day of Nigeria as Nigeria turned 65. I
guess I was sent here because my wife is honestly
the Lagos State government demolished this place because some safety precautions were not taken. Not that all of Lagos was targeted or anything. Please stop mixing it. There has been narrative going around that government targeted all of Lagos, the young guy that was trying to grow.
VDM, I do not agree with you, and I want to change your perspective with regards to this comparison between Igbo people and Hausa people. Saying that, even though you apologize before starting, saying that Hausa people are beggars, Igbo people are businessmen.
Okay, so today I have some things to say about what is being meted on the Igbos. First thing first, I want to appreciate Igbos in Nigeria for their endurance, for their tolerance, for their perseverance and resilience. In the face of all the adversity, the hatred, the rejection, and the subjugation to suffering.
Hello everyone, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Lillian. To you, my returning viewers, I appreciate you for coming back. Please do it to give this video a like. So what do we have going on today? Today I have got videos from 3 most populous tribes in Nigeria, aka Wazobia. In case you're wondering what is Wazobia, Wazobia is a combination of words from Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, and they all mean come. Wa, which is Yoruba, Zo, which is Hausa, Bia, which is Igbo. All you have to do as a Nigerian is find your spot among these 3 and just belong somewhere. How does that make me feel as a Nigerian? Nothing. It's just a title. I am unshakably 100% Nigerian, and I have all the rights that Wazobians has. In this video, I'm going to display 3 videos, in fact 4 videos, one of which is a colorful celebration of Nigerians living in Ghana having their Independence Day here in Ghana, and then we'll move on to the 3 videos of Wazobians. Through these videos, you get to find out their mindset, their view of their country, Nigeria. Before we get into those, let's get into this colorful celebration of Nigerians gathering here to celebrate the Independence Day without anyone disturbing them. Let's get into it, and I'll be right back.
On the 1st of October 2025, Nigerians, Ghanaians, and friends of Nigerians in Ghana joined Nigeria to celebrate the Independence Day of Nigeria as Nigeria turned 65.
I guess I was sent here because my wife is honestly
Let's have a little background story of what happened on this day. Few hours to the commencement of this event, rain started falling cat and dog. The traffic in Accra that evening became intense. I was already on my way heading to the event, and I had so many questions on my mind. Should I return? Will people actually turn up for this event considering the rain? This was a beautifully planned outdoor event, but ended up becoming hosting an indoor event because of the rain. But despite the challenge, people still came to celebrate with Nigeria. The representative from Ghana was present, men and women of influence were present, and it turned out to be an amazing event. It was full of laughter, celebration, show and display of culture from both Nigeria and Ghana.
So there you have it. Big shout out to Bife Space. This video was made by her. I'm going to leave the link to the full video in the description of this video in case you want to see it all. You want to see how the event went. Even though if I knew about it, I would not have attended. That you should know about me by now. Nothing personal, but I will not have been there. Before we get into the video of Ola of Lagos refusing to play the victim card, let me congratulate Uncle Chudu Chukwu DNA 2, aka Ohazurume 1, aka Ezendi Igbo na Ghana. Let me congratulate him because the government of Ghana saved him from the unshakable, unbreakable, courageous Honorable Hassan Ayariga. Like that baby now that just run. Don't beat me, don't beat me, don't beat me. Run, go and hide under daddy's lap. So that was what Uncle Jude did. Otherwise, today would have been that day that he would have been citizen arrest by Ghanaians. I have seen videos of other countries doing what Honorable Hassan Ayariga wanted to do to the Igbo king in Ghana. But fortunately for the Igbo king in Ghana, the government of Ghana loves him so much and they are willing to protect him. Give him a round of applause. You know, easy. Is it easy? No, it's not. Now, let's get into the video of Ola of Lagos refusing to play the victim game.
Hello everyone, I would love to clarify the conviction circulating on social media concerning the demolition of my car lot. I never said or claimed to own the property of the Skywise Group. All I did was lease a section for doing my business. I repeat again, I do not own the property, nor have I ever claimed to build on the land. The Lagos State government demolished this place because some safety precautions were not taken. Not that Ola of Lagos was targeted or anything. Please stop mixing it. There has been narrative going around that government targeted Ola of Lagos, the young guy that was trying to grow. All of us knows that this place was temporary. It was temporary. It's not even safe. Look at. I honestly respect and support any government initiative that prioritizes its safety of its citizen. Very important. I'm repeating for the third time, yeah? I never claim to own this spot or claim to have developed the building. I had a good working relationship with Skywise Group and I respect the management. Please stop mixing it. I never claim to own this space. It is owned by Skywise Group, which I appreciate that they leased some parts to me. They were not even greedy. You know what I mean? So please stop circulating the wrong narrative. To my fans, to my clients, to my partners, to my supporters, don't worry, it's for the better. Ola of Lagos auto showroom, another one is coming back bigger and better. Just understand, this happens for the good. No, we say Lagos State government target Ola of Lagos. I know you all love me and you respect the fact that Ola they push your way, but trust me, this is not about Ola of Lagos. It's for the safety of everybody. Nagode, Dalu, Eshe, you will love it. It's plenty. We are coming back bigger and better. You will love it.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. He's not in the mood to do I am targeted because of what? Why will your government not want you to succeed in life? Now I would like to know. If not that your mama, the day she gave birth to you, born you finish, hold you for her, say, yeah, government hates you, okay? If not, why will you think that way? Even me that comes from a marginalized, the most marginalized region, I never for once feel like Nigeria hates me. Okay, I don't feel that way. I just feel like they are incompetent. That is just it. I just feel like the leaders are incompetent. The people themselves lack wisdom on how to hold the government accountable. They do not know what they want. The people and the government are all the same, corrupt, and they don't care about anybody. Everybody just want what they will eat. That's it. So I have never any day felt like Nigeria as a country hates me. Let's move to the next one.
VDM. I do not agree with you, and I want to change your perspective with regards to this comparison between Igbo people and Hausa people. Saying that, even though you apologize before starting, saying that Hausa people are beggars, Igbo people are businessmen. I would like to bring your attention to the dynamics of the northern region, which you might not know. You are a very intelligent man. I'm not undermining your knowledge, but intelligence is of different types, and as an intelligent person or activist, you have to be open-minded to also learn. You see, the Igbo man and the Hausa man have no comparison in their dynamics, in their social structure and all that. When you were talking about, Obinna empowering his cousin, his brother, somebody out there to also own another business, and then the business keeps going like that. If you look at the Igbo people, they are more concentrated in business, opening of shops, selling of things, importation and stuff like that. Now, the dynamics of the population of the north cannot support that. The Igbos are importing because there is a population of people who are buying. So if the Hausa man all goes into selling, buying, who is going to produce? You talked about China. If you look at the dynamics of China, China has a lot of population, and that's the reason why China is overtaking the world now in the market in terms of production, because they have a high labor force. The story of the Hausa man is similar to this story I want to tell you now. It's like a family being invaded by somebody. The richest and the strongest person in the family decided, okay, I cannot tolerate this nonsense, I must fight back. Unfortunately for him, the invader now decided to backstab him and went back to his younger ones and said, no, let's come to an arrangement. I will not fight people anymore. And for him, he's now 2-0. Because number one, his siblings have betrayed him, and then the invader has nothing to do with him. That is the story of the northern Nigeria. When the colonizers came, the northern Nigerians fought tooth and nail for us to not be colonized. But unfortunately, there was a pact there was a pact done by the Southerners. There was a pact done by the Southerners who later surrendered and all that. I don't want to go into that far history. But when the British people were leaving this country, what did they do? They left industrialization in the southern part of Nigeria, and they left politics, power in the northern part of Nigeria. Now the question is, who needs industrialization? Who needs industrialization? Industrialization is supposed to take place where there is high labor force. There is high labor force in the north. In the olden days, they called them slaves. They were happy slaves, working under their masters. They were provided with their basic needs. Then there were farmers who had lots of people working with them. The people working with them will be welfare taken care of and stuff like that. Now the population dynamics of the north cannot warrant this kind of empowerment that you are talking about. Now the southern part of Nigeria, the reason why this country is not balanced is because there is no balance in the calculations. The calculations were done by our colonial masters to befit their own narrative. Now you go to the south, I've gone to the south many times and I've seen people who are struggling with businesses because they don't have high labor force. They want to do production, but the labor force is very expensive because everybody is having one or two things to do there. The population is not high. Now in the northern part of Nigeria, where there's labor force, there is no production. Now the average rich man, who is the lifeline of the economy, the average rich man in the northern part of Nigeria now has quick money. He's a politician, he makes sharp money. He has maybe one or two businesses. They do money exchange and all that. Those fast money schemes. Now, would he bother to go and open a factory? I've come across businessmen in northern Nigeria who have had some dealings and they tell you categorically, I cannot invest billions of naira for a long-term thing. Something I can go into exchange, buy some dollars and all that, allow you to this, and then I make at least 20-30% of my money sharp within a month or two. Then I'll now go and invest in a company that will take 20 years to grow. Not realizing that the riches and not realizing that investing in companies is also empowering your people. So the empowerment needed in the north, VDN, I want you to please differentiate it. The empowerment needed in the north is production lines should be encouraged. There is labor in the north, population in the north. So what happens? Now when the rich man makes quick money, the only thing he can do, he doesn't want to open a factory, and he has a lot of lawyers. We all know that Hausas are one of the most loyal tribes in this country. He has a lot of loyalists, he has a lot of people around him who are not doing anything. What would he do? He cannot empower them by giving them money to go and start a business. So what will he do? He gives out charity. And what does charity do? Charity, the moment, in my religion, the prophet said, the hand that always receives is always going down. When you are being given something, your hand will continue to go down. So what now happens when you give charity? You are encouraging begging because this person will be reliant on you. Tomorrow, the person cannot, on their own, do something for themselves. So that is why there's high prevalence of begging, insecurity, and all that in northern part of Nigeria. The empowerment needed in Nigeria is not Oga to, that one is a low scale one. I have dealt with some Igbo people. While buying something from an Igbo man, his price is around, let's say, I'll just give you an example, let's say 200,000 naira. And then the Hausa man is selling his 150,000. And I asked the Igbo man, what, you are selling at proximity to each other. Why is your own more expensive? Why is your own more expensive? And then the Igbo man laughed, he said, do I have the kind of loyal people working for me like the Hausa man? Go and look at his warehouse now. He has more than 50 people working for him who do not cheat him, who always make sure that his things are being done. Logistics is my problem. I don't have that much people to serve me. So that makes my things more expensive. I hope you understand. So if the Hausa man is actually doing business like the Igbo man, they become more successful. The Igbo empower more people in that line, more than the Igbo people. Let us be sincere. An Igbo man, if he wants to empower his relative, he gives them 5%, 2% of his wealth. But I have seen also people that would empower their siblings, they will empower people who work for them with more than 25-30% of their wealth. So in terms of that, the reason this empowerment that the Hausa people is not showing is because they are empowering people in the wrong field. Business is not the way for empowerment in the north. The empowerment needed in the northern part of Nigeria is under production line, factories, making. Anything that would involve labor is what is needed in the northern Nigeria because of our population. So to round my talk, I would like to tell you, VDM, Hausa people empower, but they cannot empower all because where their source of money cannot allow them to empower that much, or the source of income cannot empower that much. For example, somebody that is doing dollar exchange now, he only needs 1 or 2 workers to work for him. Highest he settles him, and then that one goes. But the problem is there are 50, 60 people around him who are still not doing anything. So the empowerment needed in the north is industrialization.
We learn every day, we learn daily, and from time to time, I'll be giving a shout out to the Igbo king in Ghana, Mr. Jude Chukwudihenetu, because without him, I would not have known Nigeria like I do right now. I would have just been living with that question mark. But this whole thing that happened here in Ghana have really opened my eyes to see things I didn't know before. You know, before now, I don't do videos like this because I felt like I don't understand Nigerians. I didn't know why people are the way they are. But now that I have taken time to get to know Nigeria beyond the practical aspect of knowing Nigeria, it has really shaped my mind. In my heart, sometimes I feel bad for Nigeria as a country. Nigeria is a group of countries in one and is not built for the African leadership and lifestyle. But we found ourselves there. And the country have gone through a lot in the hands of Nigerians. I mean, Nigeria as a country have gone through a lot in the hands of her citizens, Nigeria. Nigeria is the real victim in the hands of Nigerians. Anyway, I want to say something about what this lady said. If Hausas are beggars, according to VDM, sometimes I'm left confused. How is it that the Hausas are the beggars when in actuality they are the ones that produce food that we eat? Tomato, to feed the population of Nigeria, every single thing, apart from just the little some people produce in some part of Nigeria, like the western part of Nigeria. Aside that, everything tomato comes from the northern part of Nigeria. Okra, which is the most consumed delicacy in Nigeria, comes from the northern part of Nigeria. Beans comes from the north. I know I come from a community that produces everything I have mentioned here, but not as much as the northern part of Nigeria does it. They do it to feed Nigeria. My people do it to feed ourselves. We sell out, but it's not going around. How is it that these same people are begging? How? Onions. Did I mention onions? Onions comes from the northern part of Nigeria. Carrots and other vegetables, everything produced by the north. What about the meat that we eat? Because in my country, you see somebody eats like 10, 15 pieces of large chunks of meat. Is a sign of wealth. What about meat? Comes from the north. So how come they are lazy and begging? I don't understand. I can never understand. You know, every day I'll think I know Nigeria, but I don't. And I'm going to take time to understand why the Hausas feed Nigeria. Let me say the northern part of Nigeria feed the entire population of Nigeria, yet they are undervalued.
Hi everyone, it's Promise Odera on here again. Okay, so today I have some things to say about what is being meted on the Igbos. First thing first, I want to appreciate Igbos in Nigeria for their endurance, for their tolerance, for their perseverance and resilience. You know, in the face of all the adversity, the hatred, the rejection, and the subjugation to suffering and loss and every kind of unthinkable things that have been meted on them in their own country over the years. And I also want to say that it's also very, very shameful that a commissioner in Lagos will address on a national TV Igbos as immigrants in Nigeria, in Lagos, a former capital of Nigeria. And this absurdity and evil is purely because Igbos are quiet, calm, even in the face of adversary. But you know, just like a lion sleeps for 23 hours in a day. You know, he eats only once a day. The gentleness of a lion should not be mistaken for cowardice. What is being meted on the Igbos, they have endured. If it's not destroying their homes in Lekki, it will be destroying their shops or place of business. And all these things started from 2023 election, where they started accusing Igbos because, of course, APC lost in the Lagos election. Started saying that Igbos are many in Lagos. I started asking them to leave Lagos. And then they brought up this propaganda and rhetoric that Lagos is a no man's land. Whereas we all know that the Yorubas own Lagos, is their land. So, they started pushing the agenda. First it was FFK that came to warn us, and then they started destroying shops. For you to buy a land, you have to go through some process, go through some people, pay for it. You have to pay Omonile, you have to pay the landowners, if it's community, if it's government. For you to start building, you have to settle the youth, you have to settle the boys, you have to still on top of that pay for planning, pay for everything payable. You start electing the structures, employ local residents, sometimes indigenous. And then after you finish building that property, suddenly somebody will wake up from somewhere and remember that you built it on a canal. Man's evil to man. We are doing this because Igbos are not in power, because Igbos don't have a president. You know, I was listening to General Irabo, you know, the former chief defense staff of Nigeria, that released a book recently under Goodluck Jonathan with Seun Okibaloye on Channels TV. And he said that Nigeria has suffered a lot and have not reconciled from the civil war. In fact, he referred that to the civil war, or the attempt of the Cardinal Zogo and others, as the second coup. And said that the first coup was Awolowo's attempt, of course, to take power from Tafawa Balewa. Now, the reason why those military guys, of course, Yoruba man was involved in that, wanted to carry out the coup was to go and release Awolowo, and in fact make him the president. He was in Calabar prison then. All of this history was wiped away from us. We were deceived for the longest time that it was an Igbo coup. Until recently, Abibi wrote a book. And I think the message has been confirmed and reconfirmed by different people and different quarters. Although Gowon have been saying it for this while, people have been saying it, but it was good it came from one of the big players. So now we know it's not an Igbo coup. But Igbos have lost over 3 million people, still losing a lot of people. People are still dying. The sit at home has been in a force since, I think, over 5 years now in the East. But of course, because the East is seen as an annexation or an addendum to Nigeria, nobody cares.
The more you look, the less you see. That is the story of Nigeria. I told you that Nigeria have gone through a lot in the hands of Nigerians. I mean, Nigeria is like a father that gives birth to many children by many women, and he do everything within his power to provide, do what he can for them. But there are some that just will never appreciate that father of theirs because he has other children aside the ones his mother has. This is the story of Nigeria. It is given that the same set of people that some Nigerians claim they do not like, once there is anything like history about to be twisted in their favors, you will see them love, celebrate, talk about that person, and you begin to wonder, is it not the same person? Example, the man he just mentioned in the video that said there was a coup before the first military coup that we all know about. Awolowo wanting to take over power from Tafawa Balewa. Babangida has become like an ice cream among some Nigerians because he said it was not an Igbo coup. Please judge this with me. Don't be biased, okay? Please, I want to understand something. Now, let's do it this way. 5 officers out of the 6 officers that carried out a coup or attempted coup are all Igbo. And we have leaders marked to be taken down by the same military officers from all the regions, all the tribes. But on the day of the coup, not a single leader from their tribe was taken down. But the 5 officers from that same tribe were able to carry out the unaliving of leaders from the other tribe. What do you call that? Now, let me help you understand what I know. Wale Ademoyega happens to be the one and only coup plotter from the other tribe, the western part of Nigeria. He did not carry out unaliving of anybody because his role was to announce on Radio Nigeria, you know, like they do it now. Hello, fellow Nigerians. This is Wale Ademoyega. I am here to announce to you that power have been taken from these corrupt leaders. Your new president is so and so. That is the role that Ademoyega was supposed to carry out in that coup. Had they succeeded in carrying out the coup, while the unaliving of the leaders from across the nation was be done by the 5 officers from Igbo. All the 5 officers are Igbos. Do you understand? But no single Igbo man was spied that day. But these officers were able to take a leader from Benin. They were able to take leaders from the north. They were able to take leaders from the west. When I say Benin, I mean like the then Midwest. Yeah, in the Midwest part of Nigeria, Dennis Osadebe and Okotie Ebo were supposed to be taken down. That is true, right? Tafawa Balewa, Amadu Bello was supposed to be taken down from the north. That is true, right? Making 4, right? Aguiyi Ironsi, Nnamdi Azikiwe were supposed to be taken down. They are from the east, where all the 5 coup plotters are from. So we have how many regions now? 3. We have 1 more region to go. In the western region of Nigeria, Akintola Akindoja was supposed to be taken down. But guess what? Nnamdi Azikiwe was nowhere to be found. Aguiyi Ironsi, nowhere to be found. These are Igbo men. But the other ones, no single one of them escaped it. In fact, the added bonus, a lot of people that were not officially on the list of deleting were added by these same Igbo officers. And it was done successfully. But guess what happened? One of the target was the one that frustrated the coup, and he happened to be the only senior army officer at the time. Automatically, power is to be handed over to him, according to the military. And guess what? Oga did not say, no, I cannot do this because, let me even thank God for my life that these people did not get me. Let me praise the Lord. Let me use my number 6 because now if I take over this power, my Igbo brother and I, which is Nnamdi Azikiwe, were supposed to be taken down, but we were lucky to not be taken down. So if I take that power, it's going to be suspicious. They are going to say, I know what happened. He did not think that way. He just went on and embraced it. Like, he took it like something that belongs to him and he owned it. Decentralized power and unified the power, and he and him alone became the absolute leader. Yet it is not an Igbo coup. Now let me break it down to you. In the Midwest, Okotebo was taken down, but Dennis Osadebe, who happens to be Igbo, Igbo when it's favorable, though, even though he's Igbo, but only when it's favorable. He was supposed to be taken down, but he was not taken down. Nzogu, Igbo, when it's favorable, is a VDM of today. He allowed himself because they could see the courage, they could see the charisma, they could see the fearlessness, and they took full advantage of him. So he carried out his own part of the coup well. But his uncle, Vito Sadebe, in the same delta, in the same Asaba and Okpanam, a few kilometers apart, nothing happened to Dennis Osadebe. Nothing happened to Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nothing happened to Agunyi Rosi. But they say we should believe that it was not an Igbo coup. It's going to take you forever. Not every Nigerian will buy that. And you know, one of the Nigerians that will not buy it, this one here. Since the day I knew about this, even if I die today, or I live and die when I'm supposed to die, or I don't live old enough, whatever happens, even if not tomorrow I die, I would die with that in my head. It was an Igbo coup. Now, if you're wondering what I would have done differently if I was there, my opinion was sick. If there should be a revenge coup or not, I would have said no revenge coup. But an Igbo man should never be trusted again with power. Make sure that the coup plotters are put to abide by firing squad according to the rule of law, but do not take revenge. Looking at all the events that followed independence of Nigeria, everything looks like a plan. So there is nothing anybody would tell me that was not an Igbo coup. Please own it. Own it, even if you don't want to apologize. Of course, you should not apologize because you have paid indeed. And the painful part for me is that it was innocent people that paid the price. But he paid you, so you have paid the price. Maybe there was a coup before that one, or there have been series of coups since after that. See, that one, na Igbo coup. I'm done with this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.